Good morning. Happy Monday. It is February the 13th, 2023. I'm Tim McKay, your host here at Rule My Realm, my vlog on small business and business ownership, all things entrepreneurial, and I'm here to share with you my journey. Okay, let's get into a few things today. Last couple of weeks here, I've been talking about my handy dandy planning calendar here, and the idea with 2023 is I want to rebound. I want to be far more successful at what I'm doing. And in order to do that, I need to be more disciplined. What I'm learning is I'm very undisciplined. Wow. Am I undisciplined or what? I have not been following this calendar pretty much all year. It's concerning because if you're not doing what you're planning to do, you're not achieving what you're expecting to do. So you're not going to get there, Tim. What am I going to do about this? I've said I think in the last 2 weeks, I want to have this calendar in a more prominent spot. I have failed to do so. I need to make changes. What is my deal? I don't understand why I'm so undisciplined. It's irrational. I don't get it. I never used to be like this. I used to do what I said and said what I do. That's how I need to get back to. Back to first principles, back to what matters. Otherwise, I'm not going to make a successful 2023. I will not be rebounding. And I'm frightened. I'm afraid that I won't achieve my goals. So I need to focus on this because it's kind of a mess right now. Freaking out here because my desk has turned into a chaotic mess. Behind me, I have no shelving. I have a closet where I got some random stuff kind of stacked here and there, but this desk is a mess. I don't have places for things. I'm starting to lose my mind. I am gonna have to, after this video is done, I'm gonna have to clean this desk off and start cleaning and start fresh. It's driving me batty, driving me bonkers today. It's in my brain. I'm agitated, really, really agitated today, and that's not good because if I don't get this done, this isn't working today. I need my brains to work today. So last week I did talk about I have been working towards opening up a brokerage account to some stock trading. Now, I've learned a few things that was somewhat undocumented. So the first thing is, it takes a while. No, you have a path. You can do it individually as just a human natural person, or you can do the corporate route and set it up through a business. That's the path I took. Set it up through my trading company. Well, it's a company. I had originally used that corporation for e-commerce, but I'm out of that business now. I'm not doing e-commerce. So I submitted all the documentation, and they need a lot of documentation, corporation certificates, email, all sorts of. There's a lot of stuff. There's about 12, 13 documents you got to assemble. It wasn't too bad. I mean, it's not like there's a credit check. There's no personal guarantee. None of that. It's just a lot of steps, which is fine. I mean, I used to sell on Amazon, and they were very meticulous about nuances of spelling of the word street instead of ST like it says on your documentation. Like they were pedantic about the wrong things. Like it was ridiculous. So this was not as bad. It was more, okay, I did have a couple documents rejected because it was not all the details they were hoping for. Like they wanted to have list of the directors, things like that. It was on a different document. I had to draw their attention to that. I just kind of combined a bunch of things into a single PDF, and Bob's your uncle. It's all good. Okay, so one of the things I learned was, so first of all, I sent just in $5,000 to open the account. So I funded with 5,000. So they have a thing where on the site where I can just enter my banking details and they'll suck the money out. But it takes a full week for that money to go to click to they get it to I can actually do anything with it. I can actually trade with it. Like I think a week is a long freaking time, man. Like it's a long time. So I'll have to see if there's a better path in the future if I'm adding more funds to that account. I don't know. The second thing I learned was there's a 90-day hold on that. So if I change my mind tomorrow and I say, okay, I'm going to liquidate all my stocks, boom. I want that cash back. No, no bueno. Not going to happen for 90 days. So May 10th, I can pull that money out of that account. So that's a long time. Yeah. So that's just a long time. So anyways, I did buy some stocks and they're stalking, they're doing things. So my whole purpose of opening this account was to conduct day trading. Now, because of the setting it up as a small business, apparently they have different liquidity and asset requirements as a small business versus as a individual. So as a result, I could not get a margin account, and that seems to be somewhat critical if you want to conduct day trading, because you can't short anything with a cash account, and you get no leverage, and you can't, your buying power is limited to the cash you have on hand, obviously. So it's like I have $5,000 sitting there. I've bought some stocks, and it might go up, it might go down, it might go up, but it's just like I kind of like I feel like this is like a non-starter. Like it's not it. So, and if you can only do one side of trading, not the other side of, like, you can only buy. Yeah, it's not the best. It's not the best thing, and so I need to. I thought, okay, I'll proceed on that. As I learned that in the process early on, in the application process. But it didn't really impact me until I went through that mentally to think, okay, well, how is this going to impact me? But I went ahead anyways, hoping that I can now add on a margin account now that I have an account. I'm hoping that'll be easier than starting off a brand new account entirely with these guys. So I'm going to give it another couple weeks just to let the money kind of be there. Then I'm going to see about adding a margin account. So a couple weeks, I'll try that out. Now, something I'm going to start, I think, chatting about on this channel, I think it's kind of fun, is I'm doing some new things, and so I do apologize today. I do see that there's some lens flare. I got some lights. I'm trying a different lighting setup today to see how it goes. I like that I'm getting better lighting on the front, but I don't like the fact that I get those reflections on my lenses. So I do apologize if you are watching that. It might be kind of annoying. And to that end, one of the things I'm working on is I'm starting to do more reading, because I'm feeling like I'm stagnating. And so, sorry about that, there's a little banging going on here. But I've got this one book I've bought here. It's called DaVinci Resolve 18. So what this book is all about is the software I use to edit my videos. DaVinci Resolve is like a multifaceted software that's got it can handle the full production cycle of, media management through the cutting and clipping and editing the videos. It's got a built-in like a color correction system, and a full-featured sound mixing station, and then it'll output the videos into whatever kind of format you want. And it's comprehensive software. I mean, media studios like Disney Plus and Netflix and a lot of independents and big name like Marvel movies are being made with this software. It's the thing that people are using. It's got 2 million users, and it's well respected in the industry, and it's the way to go. But it's complicated. I mean, I shouldn't say it's overly complicated. I mean, if you try to use any other editing software, you'll find those are complicated too. And I don't understand the workflow of, like, the Adobe products. I couldn't stand it. Premiere Pro, like, dudes, get your act together. Like, it makes no sense. And so I went into a few other applications. I used Sony Vegas. I've used, Filmora 11, well, 10, 11, now 12. And it was really good. It's great for like the social media content. It's got a lot of built-in filters. It got a lot of animations, stuff like that. But where I was finding was there is problems with the company. Like, they're getting a little bit shady. Like, I bought a thing where it's supposed to be licensed for life, and then all of a sudden it's like, now you got to pay to get the new upgrade. And I was in the middle of editing a video, and I didn't want to spend another few hours losing my time, so I had to pay them the $30, and that really just didn't settle well with me. So then I started researching and found a video talking about DaVinci, and so I downloaded it. There's a free version. If you want, you can upgrade to the Studio Edition for, I think it was $200 Canadian, 150 US, something like that. Maybe a little bit more. And it's great because it does so much stuff. It's high end. Like, I can feel like I'm not, if I learn this, I won't be wasting my time, because it's got future, and it's got legs that'll carry me and whatever creative endeavor I pursue. which leads me to the next book I bought, which was DaVinci Resolve 18. This one is specifically around the core, one of the core features, the main thing that DaVinci did when they first started off was it was really designed around converting video from like an old reel-to-reel to VHS or whatever to transpose that, and there's a lot of color correction needed, a lot of artifact removal, that kind of stuff. So really the nuts and bolts of cleaning up video, making it look good, getting it presentable, and that's what this book is all about. Is it talks about the section of the application that does all that stuff, and I've already picked up a lot of really good things, and I'm only into, like, they've got 5 or 6 different exercises where they go through and they supply you some media, and they can really, and you can go through and edit it all, and according to the rule or the steps they give you, and you can really feel and see the difference between my old process of how I was editing versus what they suggest, and how it does make a genuine and material difference. So this one is the colors guide in DaVinci Resolve 18, and the colors being manipulating the color scheme so that when you import video, if there's shadows, you can deal with those and artifacts and stuff like that. So I think it's I'm looking forward to learning more about this, but it was kind of funny because I kind of look at this little tab here because there's a section there that talks about the website where you go download the software, or download all the adjoining materials. So I went to that page, and I found this book. It happened to be there for free as a free PDF download. So DaVinci's got 5 modules, and they got manuals for all 5 modules, so I'll download the rest of them for free. So there you go. When in doubt, I still do prefer a physical paper book, so I can open it up, look it up. And I was really happy when I got this book because I'm not sure if you can see that there, but it's all colored, right? So then you can see what they're trying to explain. It's not a black and white photo trying to explain color. That would be kind of stupid. So yeah, this was a really good book. It's really made a difference. One key thing is, like, I'm working on, this is being recorded on a Samsung Ultra 22, and the sample media they provided us was from like a high-end professional cinema grade camera, and you can see the difference. The pixels are much smaller. You can see that the clarity of the resolution is so much better. The color depth is just amazing. Like, it's, I wouldn't say day and night, but it's definitely, dusk to noon. Like, you notice a huge difference in the video quality and in the data depth. Like, you sense that there's a lot more you can do with it. You can clarify and clean it up. So anyways, that's all wonderful. And now I've been reading this other book. I've seen this fellow on, I think, Fox News, I want to say, or Newsmax, or some news channels, and he's written this book called I Can Read You Like a Book. And so this is all about reading body language. And the subcaption here is how to spot the messages and emotions people are really sending with their body language. So it's been really, really interesting. I mean, it's kind of weird because I've always, in my whole life, I've always felt like I've been like this outsider, outcast of society. Like, I'm not some weird dude, but I just find I'm always seem to gravitate towards the fringe. Like, I'm not comfortable in the crowd, for example. Like, everyone, like, if you think to your high school years experience, I was content not being around crowds and being involved with what all the other kids are doing. Being my own Tim was okay for me. I had some bullying and trauma when I was younger than that, in the junior high years, but I think that formed a mindset where I wanted so badly in my younger years to be a part of the crowd and being forced out of the crowd, out of the common group, I was able to develop comfort as being an individual outside of that group. And anyways, this is a really good recap, I guess I can say, of some of those things I have learned. And as a result, I feel like I can understand the nuances of body language communication a little bit clearer. And what I have learned from observing in working with people and communicating with people verbally and non-verbally. It's coming through in this book, and I can see that where he's got a really good lexicon of, definitions that goes through and describes, the what's happening emotionally, what's happening, in the mind as people use certain hand expressions or facial responses and postures and all the things that kind of come together. And so it's really not about the one thing. Like, if someone's got an eye twitch, that doesn't mean anything. But if they have an eye twitch and they're kind of moving around funny, then there's more to read. Like, it's the holistic, head to toes kind of understanding is what's this person's baseline. What would they normally do? What are they doing now? Like, what's different in the moment? Respecting the elements of culture and personal history, and are these things just personal tics, or was there a physical trauma that induced certain things? Like, maybe someone's walking around funny because they have a fused disc. You don't know. And so you want to interpret that the right way. So you have to kind of look at the holistic picture and understand that, okay, this is what this would typically mean, but in this individual it means something a little bit different because of ... So I can read you like a book. It's a really interesting one. I'm about halfway through, just over halfway through, and I'll be done this in the next day or two. And yeah, it's been really interesting. So I hope to get more out of that one. So I think that pretty much sums it up for this week here. I lied. It doesn't sum it up. I have a few more things to talk about. So this coming week here, SQL Anvil has been kind of an interesting journey for me, because I've been realizing that the path I was undertaking is definitely not the way to go. And what I mean by that is, I think that my competitors have a huge, huge advantage over me. They have the name recognition. They've bought blogs like that have millions of people in them. So I'm not sure how to break into something like that. So anyways, audience is the key. I need to figure out where in the mix can I play, because there's a couple of the products that these competitors make that I think I know I could do those and better. But is it 10 times better? Is it significantly better? Is it just perceived as, just another alternative to what I've already got with big brand XYZ? So I need to kind of really understand that dynamic. Like, even if I combine 2 or 3 of those products together as one, I still think that it's still a money game, right? It's no different than having 3 separate. If I combine three things, 3 products as one, and call them modules or integrated features, that's really no different structurally than if I had 3 separate programs and I just offer a discount. We bundle it as a group discount. Like, it's no different that way. So I need to have more value in the sense of what's novel, right? What is going to transcend the conversation beyond just under the reach of features, and beyond just even core benefits. I'd say, like, what's the narrative? What's the wow factor? What's the why? Why is it that I should even pay attention to this new SQL Anvil stuff? And I think, and I look back through the Wayback Machine on the websites that these companies had, their wow factor was nothing existed. These things were new in the world. They invented it essentially, and they brought it out, and people used it and loved it, and then they added on new things and new requirements or needs were evolving, and so that's how that progressed. Was a natural need that was fit because there was a vacuum. So I'm wondering in my mind, like, I have this notion that the world always needs more pizza. You can always open up a new pizza joint, because all you have to do is make new, a different crust, a different sauce, a different type of cheese, whatever. You can have a nice marketing gimmick. You can have all sorts of ways to divert, to make yourself stand out of the crowd. And maybe as I'm saying this, I'm convincing myself that I just need to stand out of the crowd differently. And I need to figure that out, and I think that's the core of it. Like, what is it that I'm really trying to achieve here, and what is that? What is that wow? And what is that story? Like, why should I? Why should someone come to try out this thing? Like, what's okay? So you're some software company. Why should I care? Give me a reason. Like, what's the drive for them to come and spend the first 5 seconds on my website? And I don't have that in my mind right now. I really don't, and I think maybe that's where I struggle with the marketing in the past, is that I come up with these solutions to a problem that may not exist, or may not be exist in a way that someone's really wanting to commercially invest themselves, and so the reason for that, I think, comes back to I don't put together a story. I don't say, okay, well, we're doing this because of this, and I don't have a novelty that I can present, and I don't have a novelty that will resonate with people at this time, because it's all been done before, and I'm just another one of, and I don't want to be a one of, because that's kind of boring, honestly. Just because I can do it doesn't mean I should, right? So, yeah, and as I'm saying that, maybe I'm now I'm convincing myself maybe this isn't the path. Maybe it's just a saturated market. And at a time when the economy is starting to slow down and people are spending less, I'm not going to have reserves. It's going to be a harder sell to get money out of these companies. So I don't know. But I'm also thinking, longer term, is this even where I want to be? Like a little truth story about myself and my journey. I've always had this vision, and it's a very loose vision, and it's never come to pass, because I think I struggle with this marketing, like this coming up with this story. So anyway, the vision I've always had is, okay, I'm going to build something. It's going to grow and be successful, of course, because it's my idea, it's my vision. And then at some point, it will be at a point where I can sell it. So 2 to 5 years into running whatever that thing is, it will have sales, it will have customers, and I can go and sell the whole company and make a few $1,000,000, and I can lock that in, put that aside, and live off the interest, so to speak, with a little bit of cash set aside for the next great thing. So that if I bootstrap and start the first one with no cash, I go and go to the next venture with $1,000,000 in hand, and I'll be all that much more effective and better off. But maybe that's a bad vision. I don't know. It hasn't come to pass, and I think I need to think about what is if I was able to somehow put my mind in that place where I had $1,000,000. I have basically enough money to start off any business I want. And what would I do? What should I do? Where is the market going? Where are the trends, and what are the people wanting out there? What are the problems to be solved in this economy, and with the possibility of a future economy? So I think there's a lot of those types of things that I need to evaluate a little bit deeper. And what do you do if you're? Leave a comment below and share with me what are the approaches you undertake when you've got an idea, or a desire even to bring something to market. How do you go about the first few steps on that? Do you just start talking to people? Do you just put something together, an MVP of some kind, and just test market it? What do you do? And I think for me, the problem is I feel like, although I solve problems and computer related things, I think it's just solve problems. And for me, computing, I can make software really easily. Like, for me, that's my superpower, and I need to harness that and leverage that. So when I'm sitting here thinking about these things, talking about these things to you all, I feel like I've reached so far into my career, and I've gone so far into doing so many different things, that I have this ability to make software, but I have this. I'm an amputee because I'm missing an arm of marketing, and I'm not able to get there. And then maybe that's the realization that those are my boundaries, and I have a handicap there, and I need to adapt. And I'm not sure what that means yet, because I think maybe it's lack of team. Like, I need people. like a partner, a co-founder, something of that nature, who's got that marketing back end, that talent to reach to an audience and speak to them in a way that will endear them to the product and drive an emotional connection to the objective that we're attempting to achieve. And I suppose when I really think about it, if I I haven't developed that definition of what we're trying to achieve, then it's impossible for a salesperson or a marketing person or anyone else, including myself, to try and position something that's not, it's mirageware, you know? It's a mirage. It's fake news almost. It's like a fake, yeah, it's not real because there's no meat behind that. And so I think that's kind of some of the challenges I'm facing, and I need to underscore in my own journey of evaluating, like as I'm even spending time evaluating these competitors to SQL Anvil, I have to understand why is it I'm even interested in that, and why is it that I'm going towards those areas? Is it just because I'm holding on to something from the past and I'm not letting it go, or is it that I need to that there is an opportunity, and maybe I'm not seeing the opportunity because I haven't talked to the customers. I don't have a story because I don't have a way to say that there's a problem to be solved here. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's kind of getting closer to it, to really. So why am I doing this? What is the challenge that I'm trying to solve? The challenge is I want to make money. I want to make a software. I want to make money so that I can go and do something else that will make more money. That's not, who wants to buy into that? I wouldn't want to pay into someone else's dream like that. That's kind of lame. So I guess that's where I'm at. That's a big long ramble. That's a long rant here. But at the end of the day, I think that we need to always be real and true about what we're doing, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish on this channel. It's a complicated challenge to understand where things are really up here in my heart, and what's resulting. And maybe that's why I'm not passionately driving into this agenda of mine. Is maybe I just don't care, and I think maybe I realize that subconsciously, and because I'm thinking about some of my other projects now, like when I was working on my Argonaut, I'd be up the crack of dawn, straight into coding, straight into working on it, passionately working on it, and maybe I just don't have the passion on this stuff. And I was trying to look for something that I could be passionate about. And that's actually a really great thanks for listening. Best therapy ever, is to be honest and to evaluate for yourself, trying to talk it through, understand where things are, and being real about it, because you know what, life is too short to spend time just figuring it out and trying to bumble through it. You need to work hard, you need to achieve, but you got to do the right thing in the right way. And I don't know that I've been doing that, in the sense of maybe a little bit of horse before the cart scenario, maybe a little bit of ignorance and lack of self-awareness, but also lack of identifying what true value is. And so actually, this is a really neat one. I found this, I was listening to a blog post, and let me just, so let me just pull this up. This was really interesting. This wasn't Elon Musk talking, and he was talking about the utility delta. And so there's this idea where when you look at something you want to build or construct, and he says you need to look at the utility delta. So there's a change of the improvement. So if I go and invent the next greatest thing, well, I'm thinking of Colonel Sanders, right? So at the time, there's a lot of chicken places. You could get deep fried chicken, Kentucky Fried Chicken. It wasn't a new concept. I mean, not the brand Kentucky Fried Chicken, but fried chicken done in the Kentucky style. It wasn't new, because he obviously had a recipe. And so did others. Everyone could deep fry a chicken. And so what he honed in on was a recipe of specific 11 herbs and spices in a specific recipe. That was his delta. That was what he brought in, was that compared to other chicken that was cooked in the same way, this tasted better because of those herbs. And so when you look at the utility delta, people are hungry for chicken. Let's give the benefit of the doubt that there was a big difference between the taste of KFC originally, quantify that, and other brands of chicken at the time. Now, what you do is you multiply that by the number of people it helps. And so you have, on one side, you could have a small change, a small delta, but it helps a lot of people. So 1 times a million is a million. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you could have huge change, but only affects a few people. $100,000 value, 10 people, still a million. So the two has utility of a million. But as a result, your goal is to identify people who will be affected and get the benefit of what you're going to do. But there has to be a utility improvement. And that's how you create value. And so I think that's where I feel like I've gravitated towards that approach. But I think it's the key is, now that you've created a value, now that you've identified the people, how do you get those people to find that value? And how do you get those people to be interested in your value over someone else's value? Because if I got one guy who's going to give me $100,000 in value, another guy's going to give me $1 in value, and there's a bunch of other ones out there that can do similar things, how do you break in and get noticed? Age-old question with marketing, I guess. That's the age-old question. Getting noticed, adding that value, improving people's lives. So with that, this video has gone on very long. I'm going to post this just exactly as is. I'm not even going to edit it. That's my goal today. Just going to go out, put it up there. And just because I can. But I want to thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you're a hero. I'm pretty sure that most people haven't. But that's okay. I just want to thank you. And I hope you have a great week. Oh, yeah.